What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Nothing But Skills, and today we're going to be talking about my new build I've been running in the raid, and I actually like it. And it hits harder than my old build that had generic mods. Yes, I'm hitting a lot harder. I'm pushing 36k damage with the LMG, and I'm even using this little holster right here. Yes, the exotic holster. So let's get into the build, guys. So the first thing you'll notice, I am running the sharpshooter. Now remember, the reason why you want to run sharpshooter with the LMG because you get that weapon stability. You also get that reacquisition of targets. So it helps control the LMG a lot faster. Not only that, if I ever need to help with a teammate, say on Razorback, this helps out a lot because I can run the TAC 50. Look at that damage on there. Or I can run the Nemesis. And then remember, I also get that 25% headshot damage using the Nemesis because it is a marksman rifle. But not only that, when I am using the Nemesis, the holster talent, while holster gain 25% headshot damage when scoped in with your current weapon. So I get that with the LMG. So let's take a look at this build. I'm running 7 offensive, 12 defensive, and 2 utility. Now if I had the perfect build, I would need 0 utility, only 11 defensive, and the rest would go into offensive. But this is the roles I got. You know, RNG can be hard sometimes. We're running almost 300k armor and almost 100k health, and then 326 skill power that I'm not taking advantage of. If we get into the main weapon that's on this build, it's this military M60. Look at that, 36k base damage, 500 RPM, and 135 round magazine. It also gets that 15% damage to targets out of cover because it is an LMG. It has unhinged, so that's where we're going to get 20% of my weapon damage right off the bat, but at the cost of negative 25% weapon handling. It has jazz hands, 10% reload speed, but with this build, it's useless, and you'll see in just a second why. I would rather have something like maybe some ammo capacity on here, or even a leg roll for that 10% rate of fire. And then it has Zen. While equipped, resting in cover for 3 seconds removes blind and disorient status effects. Doesn't really matter. Now you want to run the C79 scope, the 5% damage to elites, and the reason why is because this is going to allow me to get that 25% damage, headshot damage from the Nemesis. Now if you don't have that one, you can just run this 8% damage to elites. You get 3% more damage to elites. I'm also running the large pouch, which is going to give me 35 extra rounds. That's why I'm at 135 round mag. We get the vertical grip, that's going to give me 10% accuracy. And then we get the 5% damage to elites right here. Now the reason I put the accuracy one on here is because I'm already getting some stability from sharpshooter, right? For the pistol, you can run any pistol you want. I really recommend getting a pistol that has grease, while holster weapon swap speed is increased by 10%. And it can be any pistol you have, but if you have grease on there, it's going to work really good with this build. So let's break down the build, right? So for the mask, I'm running a Murakami mask. This gives me 8% health. It gives me 8,000 health, 42% damage to elites, and then 10% damage to elites from hard hitting. So that's 52% total just right there. For the chest piece, I am running a Gilligard chest piece. Now if I had a perfect roll Petrov chest piece, I would love that, but I don't have a perfect roll Petrov chest piece or backpack, so I am running a Gilligard chest right here. But this one is perfectly rolled for this build. It has 5% total armor. It gets a 20% hazard protection because I'm running 2 pieces of Gilligard. But look at these rolls, 39k health, then I have 13.5% weapon damage, and then I have 9k armor right here. We're running Unbreakable, 70% of max armor is repaired. When your armor is depleted, armor kits used within the next 7 seconds are not consumed. This does require 11 defensive or more, and you can see that I already have 12 defensive. Now it does have 1 utility mod slot. I just put the skill power in there. There's nothing I can really unlock with this build. Maybe in the future, if I can get a battery pack for my chem launcher, I can get a little bit stronger heal. But for now, this is all I can really use, right? And then we have the defensive system mods. I'm running 2 of them. They're both going to give me extra armor. So this one's running 2k armor, 5% total armor, then 4% explosive resistance. And then we have another one that's giving me 3k armor, 3% total armor, and then 3% protection from elites. Now if we get into the holster, the Dodge City Gunslinger holster. Now some of you guys might be looking at me, why are you running this? Well, isn't this for a pistol build? No, this works really good. Now the talents on the holster, it has sleight of hand, which is 20% accuracy, 20% stability, 40% reload speed, 400% optimal range, and then 20% revolver damage. And you just have to have any kind of pistol, but of course you wouldn't get the revolver damage unless you have one. But I'm not even using it for this one. That's actually really good talent if you're going to run a pistol build. But the real reason I'm using this is quick draw. Swapping to your pistol reloads all weapons. So you know how long it takes to reload LMG. It's instant with this, and that's why I actually like running it. It's so quick, it's so fast. This blows away filler up. There's nothing in the game right now that can get you to reload your LMG this fast. And just hitting triangle, triangle, triangle for your PS4, and then the same thing, you triple tap it, you're right back to it, and you're fully reloaded. That's what's amazing about this. As you guys are seeing right here, you see how fast it just switches back and forth. And I'm not even going to talk about the rest of the talents, because the real reason we're running this holster is because of quick draw. Swapping to your pistol reloads all your weapons. And that's why I said if you have a pistol that has greased, you're already getting an increased 10% on swap speed, and then you're pairing that up with this beautiful holster for your LMG. Now this one has 33k armor, so I got a pretty decent roll. Now I really like that it has 2 offensive rolls. So look, I have 4% LMG damage plus an additional 1.5 weapon damage, so that's 5.5% extra damage I'm getting there. And then I have another one that has 3% LMG damage and 2% weapon damage, so that's additional 5% there. So I'm getting 10.5% extra weapon damage on this build. So I don't need to have devastating, and I'm getting a better roll just having this. Now it also has a utility mod slot that I'm not taking advantage of, and I get 131 skill power on there. So if we go over to my knee pads, I'm running the second piece of Gilligard, and this is what I'm talking about. Gilligard total armor, 20% hazard protection. I get that 15k armor right here, so that's how I'm getting closer to that 300k. I'm running patience. I think patience is key for any build. It just gives you that survivability factor that you need if you don't have a really big heal. After being in cover for 5 seconds, armor repairs for 5% every 1 second, and you just have to have 6 or more defensive, which I have 12. And then I'm running 2 defensive system mod slots. One's going to give me 4k armor, 3% total armor, and then 2k armor on kill. And then I have another one that gives me almost 2k armor, 3k armor on kill, and then another 3.5% total armor. If we get into the gloves, I'm running the Providence defense gloves. Now if I had any gloves that had anything else besides a 10% skill power, because I'm not using it, it would be better. But right now, my highest roll LMG gloves that have 11% LMG plus 5k health are these Providence, and it's also because it has a pretty low armor roll. It's at 19.7, and the health roll isn't that high. So it's not horrible, but it's not what I would really need. Like, I mean, I could put another Gilligard on, maybe Murakami, get some more hazard protection, just something else. I'm not really using this 10% skill part, so it's a waste. That part's a waste, but it has the high, look, 11% LMG damage, 5k health, and then I get that 10% damage to elites. Then we get into the backpack. Still one of my favorite backpacks to run. I haven't got anything better, and I run this on a lot of my PvE builds. I get that 7% damage to elites. I get 7k health, 6.5% total armor. So you can see now I'm starting to add up a lot of total armor on this build, and that's how you start pushing those high numbers for armor on here. And 300k isn't that high in this meta. There's usually, I've seen some guys with 350, 400k, and still putting out some pretty good damage. This also has weapon damage, 8.5%. If I could get something a little bit higher, I would roll it on here. Maybe it will still let me put on like maybe 10%, 11%, who knows. And then we have armor right here for 11k. So this one's really good. Look, 11,000 armor plus 6.5% total armor. Got some health, which I don't really need, but having around 100k health isn't horrible. And that weapon damage. But then what I really like about Badger Tough is you always get an offensive slot. And look, I have 3% LMG damage plus another 2% weapon damage, so an additional 5% LMG damage on this build. Now I do run the chem launcher. The chem launcher is going to heal me for 50k. Not horrible. I have 3 shots. It's decent enough, and with patience, it works perfect. And then I run the Revive Hive. That is basic. I don't really have anything. I did get an auxiliary battery pack on here for 833 Hive skill power, but I don't even have any slots in here that I can put. So maybe if I can get something else, I'll add it in there, but we'll see. And then this is my build. This is a pretty solid build. We'll go into the stats because I know all of you guys like knowing the stats after you guys see the build. You guys are like, well, let me see the stat skills. So here you go. We have 36k base damage on this LMG, 0% crit chance, which we don't have to worry about. It has 65% headshot damage. But remember, when I'm scoped in, well, sorry, you don't even have to be scoped in. Since I have that scope on this LMG, I get additional 25% headshot damage because of the Nemesis. Remember, the 25% isn't coming from sharpshooter, it's coming from the Nemesis and the scope I'm using. So that gives me an additional 25%. So I'm at 90% headshot damage with this LMG. And then we also have the reload speed bonus 10% from the angle grip. We have 10% accuracy. We get a 30% stability from sharpshooter. And then look, we're running 47.5% all weapon damage, 18% assault rifle damage, 36% LMG damage. So the assault rifle damage we're not worried about, but look at that, 36% LMG damage, 47.5% all weapon damage. You remember that's because I have unhinged, so that's 20% right off the bat. We do get that 15% marksman rifle damage that works on the Nemesis, plus you remember that headshot damage adds on with whatever I'm running with my Nemesis. So that's why it's good to run the sharpshooter if you're going to run the Nemesis anyway, because if you want to help out with like a boomer across the map, it works out pretty good. Now I am running that hazard protection of 20%, so that's bleed, blind, burn, disorient, disrupt, and shock. And this is how I run my build, guys. Remember, you can run any specialization you want. I choose to run the sharpshooter because remember I told you the weapon handling, the target acquisition, that stability works really good with this build. I'm telling you, I think this holster is perfect. It's something that I didn't think we would be able to use, but after you looking at that swap speed, seeing how fast it works, there's nothing that's going to let you reload that fast. And if you're not running a pistol build, this is a perfect way for you to take advantage of using that holster. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys again as always. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and until the next video, nothing but